the second heroine from the Street Fighter series, female counterpart of Chun-Li, and Special Force operative member of the Delta Red. She has risen from her dark, mysterious past to become one of the legends inside the Street Fighter universe. Cammy is always on call and ready to defend the world from the tyranny of M. Bison and the Shadaloo organization. In today's episode, insights about her concept, designed from her creators at Capcom, and some revealing facts you might not know about Cammy herself. The origins of Cammy White. Welcome to the Street Fighterverse. Cammy White, second female character from the Street Fighter series. Her first appearance being in Super Street Fighter II: The New Challengers. Codename Killer Bee. The initial concept of Cammy was to create a contrast to her other female counterpart, Chun-Li. The creator of Cammy, Akira Akiman Yasuda, modeled her design on the assassin Misty, who appears in Wounded Man, a Japanese manga from the 1980s. The design of Cammy's arm protectors are based on the displays on the Masamune Shirow's Appleseed. Appleseed is an anime series that merges elements of the cyberpunk and mecha genres with politics, philosophy, and sociology. The series spans 4 volumes, released between 1985 and 1989. Cammy is a strong, forceful, and determined young woman with a firm sense of justice, who is extremely polite, friendly, respectful, and enthusiastic towards those whom she knows and cares about. However, she can be very brutal and sometimes condescending to those whom she dislikes, such as M. Bison or Vega. Cammy also has a strong sense of military discipline and stern honor. Cammy has light blue eyes and long blonde hair that she styles into 2 braided pigtails, a large forelock, and a scar on her left cheek. She has a muscular body with a very fit physique and is of slightly below average height. Cammy's choice of attire is a leotard, as it gives her high speed, mobility, and flexibility. Cammy's extensive training and abilities allow her to perform incredible athletic maneuvers and feats such as flips, as well as special attacks like Spiral Arrow, Cannon Spike, or Hooligan Combination. Note that the Spiral Arrow is also called the Cannon Drill, in which the character Cammy White lunges forward during this technique, spinning in a corkscrew manner with her feet leading towards her opponent, performing a short sliding kick along the ground as she lands. This is apparent in her fighting style. Cammy holds pride in her speed and fighting abilities, as noted in her dialogue with some of the other characters. In Super Street Fighter II and Super Street Fighter II Turbo, Cammy wears her signature outfit, a turtleneck, sleeveless green thong leotard that consists of a Delta Red triangle insignia on her chest. The Delta Red triangle insignia is the badge of Cammy's Special Force unit, in which she is part of, with headquarters set in the United Kingdom. The group is active in a wide range of fields, including searching criminals on a global scale, protecting important people, maintaining security, and reconnaissance. Only the most elite soldiers are selected to join Delta Red, and each team is made up of 4 to 5 members. The members of her group are Keith Wolfman, the team leader, Lita Luwanda, bladed weapons expert, Matthew McCoy, heavy weapons specialist, George Jinsu, computer expert and hacker, Hannah Ackerson, team lieutenant and strategist, Shiba Shintaro, collaborator, Simone, mercenary. She also wears a red beret, red socks, black calf-high combat boots, and red gauntlets. Her legs were decorated with marks of green camouflage paint. This classic incarnation is known as Delta Red Cammy. One of the earlier drafts of Cammy's character design was her wearing a harness and a gun holster, details in which were eventually incorporated into her Street Fighter V default design. She was, at one time, a deadly clone assassin that was working for Shadaloo before breaking free and becoming an M16 operative for the British government. In her early story, starting from the Street Fighter Alpha series, her birthplace and history were unknown. She was a soulless person who seemingly broke free of her brainwashing and traveled the world to find out the truth. Eventually, she faced M. Bison, and she asked him what her purpose was in life. He told Cammy that she was to serve him, although he realized that Cammy became much stronger during her journey. Cammy wins her battle against M. Bison, but is hit by a bolt of electric current and knocked down. Once again, she is brainwashed to erase her memories of whatever discovery she made during her journey. Later in the Street Fighter series, Cammy was sent to assassinate Dalsum. Dalsum used his spiritual powers to make her self-aware, and she realized that Shadaloo was controlling her. Cammy confronted Bison. He told her that she was meant to become his next body, after his current physical manifestation was destroyed by his own psycho power. Bison explained to Cammy that she was a clone of himself, who possessed a small portion of his psycho power, and that if he were to die, she would die as well. In the Super Street Fighter 2 series, Cammy awoke with amnesia, and Delta Red took her in. While she could not remember her past, she retained nearly all the fighting capabilities that were implanted in her during her tenure with the Shadaloo. This made her a very valuable asset to the team. The Second World Warrior Tournament was announced, and discovering that Bison was part of it, Cammy felt a strange connection to him and entered the tournament. She confronted Bison, who told her that she is a copy of him, that he planted her in Delta Red, but didn't count on her losing her memories, and that he had no further use of her. She later joined the battle against Bison, along with her allies when the tournament ended. After Bison was defeated, her Delta Red teammates told her that she didn't need to live in the past. In this part of the video, we would like to recall some facts about Cammy that you might find interesting. Cammy's alternate horror costume, a nod to her codename Killer Bee in Ultra Street Fighter 4, has a strong resemblance to QB from the Darkstalkers game, also made by Capcom. Another random fact is that Cammy is among the 2 characters in the Super Street Fighter 4 who have been given a counter Ultra, the QCQ, Cammy's quick combination, with other characters being Fei Long, whose counter Ultra is the Gekiringing. Cammy is the second playable female character in the Street Fighter series, and currently the only one to represent the United Kingdom. Cammy White is indeed one Street Fighter character who, after all of her adversity, still has the courage to fight for freedom and justice. We will start with the appearance of Cammy White in Street Fighter Alpha 2 Gold. Cammy is a wandering doll around the globe, seemingly being free from Bison's mind control, in the act of trying to find truth about herself. A doll in the Street Fighter are teenage girls that were captured by the Shadaloo and brainwashed to do Bison's bidding. They can either be assassins or bodyguards of Bison. She encounters Bison and asks him what her purpose in life is. He replies, "To serve me," which did not sit well with Cammy, so she fights him and defeats him. Suddenly out of nowhere, a lightning bolt appears and knocks down Cammy White. The lightning hit makes her forget everything about the discovery she made on her travels, and again is mind-controlled by Bison. In Street Fighter Alpha 3, Bison sends Cammy White to find Yoga Master Dalsum and assassinate him. She finds Dalsum and tries to assassinate him, but it does not work out, since Dalsum uses his mystical powers to make her aware. She snaps out of the mental state she was in, and realizes she was being controlled by the Shadaloo. At the same time, Bison sends Vega to eavesdrop on her. When Vega confronts Cammy, he tells her that she was just an experiment and that she is no longer needed. In Vega's storyline, he reveals that he had doubts of killing her. He only wanted to face worthy opponents. After a fight between them, he lets her go, but also tells her that Shadaloo henchmen were going to be looking for her. This situation brought confusion to Cammy, since she never misaligned against the Shadaloo. Why is their purpose of trying to destroy her? So she encounters Julie and Junie, who were not aware of Bison's control. She then confronts Bison. He tells Cammy that she was meant to be the next body of his, after his last body got destroyed by his psycho power. Cammy frees the dolls from Bison's mind control. After that, in the middle of the confrontation, Bison tells Cammy that she was a clone of himself, who had a small portion of his psycho power, and that if he died, she died with him. Cammy proceeds to fight him, freeing herself from his mind control, and rescues the dolls with the psycho drive. Cammy got the dolls out of the Shadaloo base before it was destroyed. She falls unconscious, Vega rescues her, and leaves her at the doorstep of the British paramilitary government organization, Delta Red. In Super Street Fighter 2, Cammy wakes up after being unconscious. The Delta Red team takes her in. She, at this moment, doesn't remember anything about her past, but manages to keep her fighting abilities. The Second World Warrior Tournament was being announced. She discovers that Bison was behind the tournament. Even though she doesn't remember anything, she feels a weird connection towards him. Following her instinct, she enters the tournament. She confronts Bison. Bison tells her she is a copy of him, that she was used to assassinate people for him, He planted her in Delta Red, but he didn't count on her in losing her memories, so she is no longer of use for him. Her and her allies defeat Bison, and her Delta teammates tell her she doesn't have to live in the past anymore. In the Super Street Fighter 4 OVA, Guile, Chun-Li, and Cammy investigate SIN. They are also on the search for one of their main operatives named Juri Han. Juri fights Chun-Li. She sends Chun-Li to the hospital. They start receiving anonymous tips on data against Juri and her whereabouts. They don't know that the information comes from Sea Viper. With that info, they are bound to locate Juri, retrieving the bodies of the 12 dolls out of the secret Shadaloo facilities. Guile and Cammy arrive, and they confront Juri. As Juri is leaving the scene in a plane, Cammy manages to get on the plane and has a showdown with Juri. Juri pushes the vessel that was carrying Juni into Cammy. They both fall out of the plane and luckily land on deep snow and manage to survive. In Super Ultra Street Fighter 4, Juni is in a coma. Colonel Wolfman from Delta Red informs Cammy that SIN is building a dam in India, near the village where Dalsum lives. As she investigates, she joins the SIN fighting tournament, swearing revenge for what Juri has done to her sisters. She encounters Juri, but it is unknown to who wins the rematch. Cammy gathers data on a top-secret project called the Blease Project. While reading the data, Sea Viper holds her at gunpoint. Turns out Sea Viper was looking for those files and wanted those files for herself. Cammy deletes the files. Sea Viper lowers her gun and escapes. Cammy faces off with DiCapri. Falling in her rage against Cammy, she collapses on the floor. Bison appears and tells Cammy that DiCapri is dying and that a negotiation can be made. Cammy lets Bison take DiCapri so she doesn't die. Cammy failed to retrieve the files, returned home and visited Juni at the hospital, promising to take care of her during the recovery. In Street Fighter V, Shadaloo is on the move. Cammy travels to India and encounters Birdie. She defeats Birdie, and he quickly recognizes that Cammy wants one of Bison's dolls. Birdie escapes, but Cammy does not. Cammy arrives at the Shadaloo base and faces Fang, in which she asks about the whereabouts of DiCapri. She is surrounded by Shadaloo soldiers, as Fang mentions. Operations change to her. Cammy flees back to London and returns to Juni. Vega attacks Cammy. Cammy fights Vega to protect Juni. Vega retreats. She decides to save the dolls and stop Shadaloo. Leaving the scene, Juri is spying on Cammy all of this time. In a shadow falls, Cammy rescues Chun-Li from Bison's psycho power attack. Guile, Chun-Li, and Cammy escape, and Bison lets them leave. Cammy helps with the retrieval of the keys to the Black Moons, which are powerful satellites that destroy cities. They manage to control the keys and stop other Black Moons. Cammy confronts DiCapri and saves her. The police want DiCapri, but Cammy won't give her to the authorities. Instead, she runs away with Juri, who has been following her whereabouts. Now DiCapri and Cammy are fugitives of the law. DiCapri wakes and fights Cammy. After that, Vega fights Cammy. After defeating Cammy, Juri interferes, calling him a pervert. Seeing them fight, Cammy rushes to kick Vega's mask off his face, in which he proceeds to leave. Cammy finds all the dolls controlled by Fang. She fights Julie and defeats her. Vega attacks Cammy and defeats her. DiCapri saves Cammy from Vegas' final hit. Juri arrives and fights Vega. Cammy and DiCapri are surrounded by the dolls. They prepare to fight their sisters, who are still controlled by Fang. When confronted by Rashid, the device that controls the dolls is destroyed during their fight. After Cammy and DiCapri defeat the other dolls, Cammy notices that the psycho power surrounding them has disappeared. As the dolls awaken, Shadaloo guards try to seize Cammy, but because the dolls have broken free from the mind control, they are able to ward them off. The sisters are reunited. Cammy is last seen with Juri and the other dolls watching Shadaloo's destruction. Bison's dolls are completely loyal to him. They behave and talk like robots, following Bison's command. As members of Shadaloo, they were only below Bison's and other Grandmaster members, such as Balrog, Vega, Sagat, and Fang. In the beginning, the dolls could not survive if Bison died, for brainwashing corrupted them to such extent that they would have collapsed and died. Eventually, Cammy, the most popular doll, managed to break free from Bison's mind control, apparently with help from Dalsum, and did the same for the others too. They collectively attacked Bison when he appeared. As a clone of Bison, Cammy was told she and all the other dolls would die if he died. Cammy successfully resisted Bison's psychic probing, and rescued the dolls from his grip and the psycho drive. After leading the dolls out of Shadaloo's space, Cammy fell unconscious, in a state of amnesia along with the rest of them. Vega eventually found Cammy and brought her to the Delta Red headquarters. After some time, it was unknown if the other dolls survived, but a trailer for the OVA for Super Street Fighter 4 showed that they did. They were unconscious, being placed in capsules, and strapped to stretchers. After beating the dolls unconscious, Juri brought them to Seth for experiments. Seth stated that the dolls would be killed once they arrived at the spot. On board Juri's plane as it took off with the dolls, Cammy managed to fight Juri for a short period of time. The match was easily won by Juri and ended with her elbow knocking Cammy's wind out of her stomach, which caused Cammy to back up. In a fierce push, Juri-Han grabbed Juni's capsule and forced it towards Cammy. Despite her best efforts, Cammy was deflected by the capsule and fell from the plane with Juni in the snow. As a result, Cammy says she won't forgive Juri. In Super Street Fighter 4, Julie and Juni survive. However, they don't seem to regain their memories. Her amnesia is so bad that Julie turns into, as Rose puts it, an empty shell of a person, as she is incapable of speaking, laughing, or even crying. In the middle of nowhere, Julie finds herself staying with an elderly couple. Cammy and her pet cat watch over Juni in a hospital. DiCaprio is also alive in Ultra Street Fighter 4, although it is unclear whether she is controlled by Shadaloo or SIN. As revealed in Street Fighter 5, Fang worked behind the scenes to provide the dolls with upgrades to improve their combat power and to link to Psycho Power. At the end of A Shadow Falls, the dolls are reunited once again, with the exception of Mars, who appears to sacrifice herself to defeat Fang. However, Fang was later shown to have survived, leaving Mars's fate uncertain. It is believed that the remnants of Seth's biological brain fused with the body of one of the dolls, specifically Doll Unit 0, resulting in him having a female body. It appears that Doll Unit 0 is an entirely artificial construct, in contrast to the other dolls. The most popular dolls are Cammy. The original Cammy White was a perfectly cloned copy of Bison's body, a soulless doll kept in constant training, sent only to the most dangerous and challenging missions. Her first appearance was in Super Street Fighter 2, The New Challengers. In their native languages, the dolls' names, except for Cammy, are taken from the months of the year. Julie is one of the 4 playable members of the dolls. She first appeared in Street Fighter Alpha 3 as a sub-boss alongside Juni in a dramatic battle on the arcade version prior to the fight against M. Bison, and was made a default playable character in the home versions. Cammy is being tracked down by Julie, and Ryu is being tracked down by Juni. Her name is July in German. Juni. In the arcade version of Alpha 3, Juni appears alongside Julie as a sub-boss. She became playable in the console ports, where she is assigned to track down Ryu, and her partner Julie is assigned to track down Cammy. Her name is June in German. DiCaprio, a native of Russia. DiCaprio is akin to Cammy, without the black mask. The left side of her face is burned. The claws of DiCaprio are shorter and are located in both hands, similar to those of Vega in a hand-to-hand combat. Her name derives from the Russian word for December. Ultra Street Fighter 4 is her fighting game debut, and instead of using a claw, she uses Psycho Power infused daggers as a weapon. The other dolls' names are Enero, which is January, originally from Spain. She specializes in communication, carrying a microphone with her. Her hair is pink, Février, which is February, originally from France. She specializes in using firearms. Her hair is pink like Enero, but shorter in Alpha 3, orange in the Street Fighter 4 OVA, and brown in Street Fighter 5. Mars, which is March, originally from Germany. She specializes in information and recon, using her laptop. Her hair is purple. Aprile, which is April, originally from Italy. She specializes in skills as a medic. Her hair is red in Alpha 3 and Street Fighter 5. However, in the Super Street Fighter 4 OVA, it is pink. Satsuki, which is May, originally from Japan. She specializes in sword fighting. Her hair is brown. In the Uran comics, she was spotted and captured by Cammy. Recognizing Cammy by her former Shadaloo codename, Killer Bee. Santamu, which is August, originally from Ethiopia, initially Vietnam. She specializes in spear fighting and is accompanied by a golden lion tamarin monkey. Her name is derived from the Vietnamese word for August, Tang Tam. Her hair is black. However, in the Super Street Fighter 4 OVA, it seems more brown than black. Xiaoyu, which is September, originally from China. She specializes in using nunchaku. Her hair is black. She seemed to have either gained a mask or some sort of face paint in Street Fighter 5. Tianyu, which is October, originally from China. She specializes in using a quarterstaff. Her hair is black and resembles Tongpu from Capcom's Strider series. Nuembelu, which is November. Originally from Mexico, she specializes in fighting with twin hatchets. Her name was originally Little Eagle, and she was part of T-Hawk's Thunderfoot tribe. Her hair is brown. So what did you like about the dolls? What did you like about this episode? Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on new theories and info. Thank you for watching. This has been your Street Fighter host. Welcome to the center stage. By the way, if you would like to donate or simply get us a coffee, we would like to inform you that sure you can at ko-fi.com/streetfighterverse. We are grateful for every single one of you. You guys make this possible, and for that we thank you. Our new Discord server. There you can talk with us, chat about current events going on in Street Fighter, information, theories, and lore. We'll leave the link in the description box below. We want to thank everyone for tuning in and becoming part of this Street Fighter community. We want to thank you for your positive comments towards our channel because it only habilitates us to grow even more. From the Street Fighterverse crew, we thank you.